Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So in this video we're going to do a slight difference to the previous video where we done games that look good but are actually really bad. So it's the opposite, games that look bad but are actually really good on Evercade. So let's have a look at those games that I've chosen. So first game that I've chosen is Super Painter. This is from Mega Cat Studios Collection 1. And it's not the best looking game, let's be honest. It does have sort of basic looking graphics, and it's that sort of single screen style game where the idea is to paint or sort of step on all the platforms and colour them, and then you can open up the exit and move on to the next level. Now the sad thing about this game is there are only 16 levels, so it is rather short, but I really like it. It is very cool, although as per the reason for this video, it looks pretty bad. The graphics are not the greatest, but again, it's all about the gameplay. I really enjoyed playing it. I thought it was great. I liked the idea of it, and it's a lot of fun and definitely deserving to be in this video. So next up is from Pico Collection 1. This is Exploding Fist, or Way of the Exploding Fist, maybe to give it the full title, I think. And this one I really enjoyed. Certainly one of those games that was an early favourite in the early days of Evercade, and it's a lot of fun. It's like almost like a karate simulation game, a little bit like maybe like Yi Kung Fu or sort of international karate, a little bit like that, although nowhere near as good as IK Plus, which hopefully we'll see at some point on Evercade one day. But this game's still a lot of fun once you get used to the controls and the movement. It is really good fun. Does look a bit crap, to be honest. The graphics are not the best, but still I think it's really good fun, and I enjoyed working out and playing with it. And once you figure it out, you get away and you are addicted. I think it's really, really cool. Certainly one of my early favourites on Evercade. Now next up, and this one's certainly an old favourite from way back in the C64 days, this is Chip's Challenge, which is on Atari Lynx Collection 2. Now, as I said, I previously played this way back on Commodore 64. Now, it's not a great looking game. Graphics are a little bit basic, and they haven't changed an awful lot in all the different versions that are out there, from Amiga to C64 to this Atari Lynx version that we've got. Now, arguably, it probably is the best version that we got on Evercade, and it's such a great puzzle game. I think it's very, very addictive. It's a great idea. It just looks a bit crap, to be honest, but the idea behind it and the sort of execution is very well done. I think the only thing that I would change about it is probably remove the time limit, and in some of the later levels it causes a little bit of frustration trying to do the puzzle within that certain time limit, and it just feels maybe a little bit unnecessary. I think trying to complete the puzzles on their own is quite tricky enough without adding the extra stress of the time limit, but it's still an excellent game and one worth playing. It just looks a bit crap. Now this one goes back quite some way. This is Lunar Lander. This is from Atari Arcade 1. And admittedly, yeah, it's old style graphics. There's not an awful lot to the graphics here. It doesn't look the best, but it's all about that gameplay. And it is very addictive and almost a calming experience, because you really need to take this game pretty slowly, trying to get your sort of lunar to land on the moon. I think it's the moon that you're trying to land on, and try to land on that flat surface as slow as possible. If you go too fast, you're just going to crash and burn, basically. So you need to try and go at a decent enough speed to land on those flat areas. Obviously, there's different multipliers depending where you land, and keep an eye on your fuel level as well. I think this game's fantastically addictive, and it has some amazing sound as well. If you play this on a sort of large screen TV, the sound is absolutely booming. It's almost insane that the sound is this good for an old style game. Graphically, it is absolutely awful, admittedly, but it's all about that gameplay and that's that unusual calming experience that this game brings. It is really cool. Okay, so my next pick is Chainbreak. This is from Indie Heroes Collection 1, and it's a Game Boy game, and it doesn't really look the greatest. It's a little bit basic with the graphics there, but it's addictive, and that's what it's all about. It's a sort of running simulator, so to speak, and you're basically trying to run along, avoiding all the spikes and things as you go and get into the end. It's like a race to the end, avoiding all the obstacles that are in your way, but it doesn't look good, but it does play well, and I really enjoyed it. Certainly one of those hidden gems, perhaps, on Evercade. So next game I've chosen is from Intellivision Collection 1. This is Princess Quest, which is a homebrew game that was made maybe about 10 years ago or so, and it does look pretty awful, let's be honest. The graphics are not that amazing, but it's sort of like a Ghouls and Ghosts style game for your television, a running platform style game with bosses at the end of each stage, and it's so much fun to play. It is very addictive. Pretty tricky, right enough. The enemies just seem to constantly appear in random places, so they do seem to spawn all the time, but it's very good fun to play. It is addictive. It just looks a bit rubbish, to be honest, but it is very, very good. Okay, now this one might be a little bit controversial. This is Micro Mages from Morphcat Collection. Now, I think the point of this game is the graphics are supposed to be pretty small, but I think the graphic-wise they're pretty naff. They're not the best. It's not a great representation of how good this game actually is. Obviously, it's better with multiplayer as well. Ideally, you want to be playing this game with 4 players because it is amazing fun with extra players to help you with the bosses, or not help, I guess, but you're trying to get to the top of each stage, bouncing off the walls and avoiding all the traps and finding different pick-em-ups as well as you go. What a great, fun, addictive title. You can play it on your own as well, absolutely fine, but it is more fun with more players. It just doesn't look the greatest. I think a little bit extra work required on the graphics. Those bosses look good right enough, but everything else, probably not the best. But it's a great game. Don't let those graphics put you off. It is a great game. Okay, amazingly, another Intellivision game. This is from Intellivision Collection 2, and it's Tower of Doom. Probably about the only reason for me to buy Intellivision Collection 2. It's an excellent game, but it doesn't look the best. The graphics have dated something awful, and it looks very rough. But don't let that put you off. This game is a lot of fun. It's basically a dungeon crawler type of thing, and there's a lot of good elements about it. Admittedly, I don't think the controls are the best, but it still works well enough and you can get away with it. Definitely, for me, the best game on this collection, and one of the only reasons I think to buy this Intellivision Collection 2. Great game, it's a pity about the rest of the cart. Okay, moving on to C64 Collection 1. This is Jumpman. Now, I could have probably picked a few other games from this collection, but Jumpman doesn't look good. The graphics are very, very basic. Now, that's probably going back quite some time, so it's obviously a bit harsh, perhaps, pinpointing some of these games that are way back from the early 80s, but it doesn't look great at all. Even by Commodore 64 standards, it's pretty awful, but it's all about that gameplay, and it is a lot of fun to play. Pretty tricky at times. Sometimes the controls do get a little bit sticky, but it's a lot of fun trying to collect all the sort of dots or whatever the heck you're collecting in the game and sort of finish those levels without getting hit with the enemy dots, whatever they are as well. But it is fun. It's a really good game. I think it's well worth playing. Obviously, we've got the sequel as well, or the prequel Jumpman Jr., which was also very good as well. But the graphics in these games really aren't the best at all. So another game from C64 Collection 3, this is Anarchy, and honestly, you look at this, it doesn't look like much at all. There's some blocks and stuff moving about. If you took one look at this, I don't think that would sell the game at all, but it's all about the gameplay. It's a puzzle game at the end of the day. You're trying to remove all the different blocks within that time limit and then get to the exit. I think this game is really underrated on Evercade. I think it's really, really cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't look great. I guess if you looked at this, you would probably instantly dismiss it, but it's really good fun and well worth having a look at. Okay guys, so that's my 10 picks of Evercade games that look bad but are actually really good. I think you could probably put a lot more games in there, especially maybe from the earlier sort of consoles such as Atari 2600, C64 and Television type of thing. So let me know, what games would you add to this list that look pretty bad but are actually really good. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.